see who all's out there. If you want to raise your hand, and we'll let everybody say hello. Looks like Rhonda Keenan, I saw you right out of the chute. Like to come out and say hello?
Sounds like I'm a sheep going through a dip or something. Right out of the chute.
Yeah, you're out of the chute now.
Hi Linda, hi everyone. Rhonda calling in from Central Coast, Australia.
Well, thank you for joining the call. I appreciate it. I've got an echo, but it might just be me. Peter Silverman, I see you out there. Hey, Peter.
Good morning, Peter from Massachusetts. Hi, Linda.
Hi. How are you in big Massachusetts today?
Great. It's a lovely summer day, and thank you for your message. Sundays.
You're welcome. You know what? You may as well dream big.
Absolutely.
All right. Looks like I see Robert Blaney out there. Hey, Robert, come on out and say hello.
Hi, Helen. This is here, South Wales in Australia. Looking forward to the call. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for dialing in and coming out. Looks like I've got Willard Jones out there. Hey, Willard.
Hello, Linda. This is Will from Virginia. Glad to be here. Looking forward to the call.
We're glad to have you. Appreciate you coming out. All right. Looks like I've got Joyce. Not able to unmute you, Joyce. So you may have to type in your hello. Well, I'm sure that Joyce is saying hello, everybody. Can't seem to unmute her, so we'll see what happens there. Looks like I've got Brian Turner. Brian, you want to come out and say hello?
Good morning, Linda. Yes, this is Brian from wet, cool Deception Bay, Queensland.
Awesome. Somebody else said hello, too. One more time. All right, looks like we've got, whoops. And I'm trying. Whoops. Don't you love it when you hear whoops? And Nova, come on out.
Hi, Linda. How are you? This is Ann in Michigan.
I'm fabulous. Ann, how are you?
We're doing great here. I've been looking forward to your series, and I'm just, they're just wonderful, and you're so well prepared, and I love your graphics. I'm a visual learner, so they're great for me. Thanks for that.
Well, awesome. Sometimes I think, wow, you know, should I take some of these out? But no, I've left every one of them in.
Yeah, I appreciate them.
So I was telling Randy today, I said, you know, I was prepared for today's call until I reviewed it again, and I added more.
Good. Looking forward to it.
Well, I am too. It should be a lot of fun today. All right, let me just scan this to see if any more hands up.
Hi, Linda. It's Estelle in Perth.
Come on out? Oh, hey, how are you? I had two hellos. Someone from Perth, and I also had Heather.
Hi, it's Heather in BC, Canada. And it's Estelle in Perth in Western Australia.
Yes, hello, Estelle. And I thank you again. I thought I did everything correctly today, but you saved the day one more time. I guess I better read the instruction manual next time.
No worries.
All right, let's see. Let me see if I have any other hands up who want to say hello. Okay. Well, if everyone, looks like everybody's muted again, so that's good. So let's go ahead and get this party started. This is week 3 of Take the Mystery Out of Mindset, and of course I'm your host, Linda Layman. And we're in for another exciting adventure tonight, and we're digging deeply into understanding how to remove our limiting beliefs that stand between us and the success that we desire and that we truly deserve, and how do we replace those limiting beliefs with something that can lead us to our success and to living the dreams that, again, we all deserve to be living today. So before we get rolling, or as we get rolling, let's have a little bit of review here. Let's see if I can get my computer to work. Here we go. We discussed last week that as an infant, absolutely all of our things that are going on around us, all of the information that we hear and that we observe, that we see from our parents, from our clergy, from TV to our friends, is just freely planting itself in our subconscious mind. And all of this information is repeatedly going in there, and it's actually building our self-image. And it's this repetition of this information that's also building these paradigms that we have in there that we may be aware of, but most of them that we're not going to be aware of. And I remember going through the Discovery series, and in the Discovery series they talked about, for those of you who've gone through it already, or maybe you're just getting to this part, they talk about when we're born that it's like we have this empty wheelbarrow. And as we go through life, the people throw bricks in this wheelbarrow. But you know what? This is the same thing that they're talking about that we're talking about now. You know, we're talking about our paradigms and our limiting beliefs. And if you recall from last week, we talked about the fact that, you know, a paradigm is nothing more than a multitude of habits. And the good news for us, kind of letting us off the hook a little bit, is that these habits are other people's habits, right? Which is kind of woohoo, yay. So now what we're going to talk about tonight, there are a few people on this call who have actually heard me talk about this before. But you know what? This is an absolutely fantastic thing for you. And the reason it's so awesome and such an awesome opportunity is because you're getting to hear this information again. And now here's the key. It was the repetition of this information into your subconscious mind when you were a child that built that self-image, that built those paradigms, that built those limiting beliefs. Well, guess what? It's the repetition of this new information that's going to help you change those limiting beliefs and change those paradigms to something better. So those of you that have heard some of what I'm going to talk about tonight have a leg ahead, because this is a repeat of the information, so that's really, really cool. Because, again, it's a repetition of information that's going to get those things out of there, that's going to help you get into the vibration and the feeling of something better. So let's review a little bit. In order to understand how our mind works and how we truly do control the successes or the failures in our lives, we need to work actually. There was a doctor, Thurman Fleet, back in 1934, who gave us a picture of the mind to work with, because we need to be able to see what the mind looks like as well. So here we have a large circle that represents the mind, and then we have a smaller circle that represents our body. And if you recall, we divided that large circle. In other words, we divided our mind in half. And the top half we called our conscious mind, and the bottom half we called our subconscious mind. Now, we also learned that these two halves work differently from each other. Now, if you recall, too, you know, we have these 5 external senses. We're able to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And it's like these senses are hooked up like little antennae sticking up out of our conscious mind. And they're gathering information from our external environment and feeding that information into our conscious mind. Now, if you remember, we talked about the fact that with our conscious mind, we have the ability to choose our thoughts. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more later, but we do choose our thoughts. And as we get emotionally involved with these thoughts, then we hand those thoughts over to our subconscious mind. Now, if you remember, our subconscious mind has to accept everything we give it. So we We also learned how to control what we choose to accept or reject out of our conscious mind with our intellect, which also sits in our conscious mind, right, with these intellectual factors or these mental muscles. And I know I'm going a little bit fast here, but this is a review. And again, for those who are new on the call, we will go into it a little bit deeper here as we go along. But we have the faculty of perception and the will, imagination, we have memory, intuition, and we have reason. And I have to tell you, it's with this reasoning faculty that we get to decide what we're going to hang on to and what we're going to step aside from. And then, of course, our subconscious mind, which is so marvelous. I mean, it's our emotional mind. This is our power center. This is how we connect with the infinite. And then the cool thing about the subconscious mind, again, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, it can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So we can give it something. We can build a picture that we're going to talk about later, and we can hand that over, and our subconscious mind thinks it's real. It must act on everything we give it. So again, if we're not watching out for those thoughts that we hand over, those things we get emotionally involved with in our subconscious mind, like watching the news or something like that, listen to negative people, or looking at our bank balance and deciding that we're not going to meet the bills at the end of the month, we're giving all of this to our conscious mind. It thinks it's real. It thinks it wants more of the same, and so it's giving us more of the same. So this is a picture of our mind, and this is how our mind works. So let's go back to some of those questions that we asked our very first week that we came together. And so I ask you, have you ever wondered why other people are successful, but maybe you're not? Or have you ever wondered why other people get great leads, but you don't? Or have you ever wondered why you feel stuck and you can't seem to move past the point that you are today? Maybe you've had some great successes in your life, but for some reason you just can't pass this point. Stuck. Or have you ever wondered why or how the real successful, really wealthy get to where they are? Some great questions. Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, among other absolutely amazing books, spent 20 years of his life interviewing over 500 of the wealthiest and most successful people at his time, just to find out these answers. And you know what? What he found was that all of these successful people used this great key to success that we're going to talk about tonight. Even Wallace Wattles wrote about it in his book, The Science of Getting Rich. Genevieve Brand and Thomas Troward wrote about it. I could go absolutely on and on and on here. But you know what? Let's not waste any more time. What I'm talking about here is using, exercising, strengthening your mental muscle, imagination. What I'm talking about here is visualization. Remember in week 1, we came to understand that we think in pictures. You know what? Visualization is everything. Even the chair you're sitting on right now had to first be an image in somebody's mind. It didn't just appear out of thin air. It had to be an image first. It had to be visualized before it came into its physical form. When we were kids, our visualizing faculty, our imagination, was at a very heightened state. I don't know about you, but I absolutely love watching children play. You can always tell when they're in their imaginary world, and it is truly remarkable. And unfortunately, as we grow older, we tend to put a lid on our imagination and push aside our purposeful visualization. I can remember sitting in class one day, and it was an absolutely beautiful spring day. The sun was shining, the redbuds were in full bloom, and the birds were singing. This particular classroom that I was in had a bank of windows across one wall. Now, I always made it a point to sit in the row closest to the windows because I like to look out. I like to look out at the world. I like to look out of the windows. You know, it actually helped me concentrate on what was being said. What was being said, and I guess on that particular day, there must have been several of us gazing out the window, picturing ourselves probably playing with the butterflies outside because the teacher did the unthinkable. Without missing a beat in her lecture, she walked over and she closed the blinds, and she successfully shut out this beautiful spring day. You know, what a tremendous jolt that was. You know, in my vision, we were sitting in class, but we were outside sitting on the lawn listening to this lecture. But when the blinds came down, wow, it was like a lightning bolt had suddenly struck right next to us. That's how powerful my vision was, you know, for me at that point. You know, it felt so real. And you know what? Unknown to the majority of people out there, we actually create our outside world on the inside of us first. So what you see, what you experience, what your circumstances are, even the amount of money that you make was all created on the inside of you, and then it's projected outside, and that's how it comes into its physical form. So, you know, that's a pretty hard pill for some people to swallow. You know, they may be sitting there thinking, and maybe even this is you too, you're thinking, what? Really? What? I'm responsible for my circumstances? I'm responsible for my bank balance even though my company let me go? I'm responsible for the success in my business even though the economy is bad? I'm responsible for my health? I'm responsible for my relationships? My answer to you guys is, well, yes, we all are. Our imagination is actually the key to building the world of our dreams, to building and reaching our goals, to building and planning our future. You know, as I said before, as children, our imagination is in full swing. As adults, we have a tendency to tuck it away and not use it. Now, in his book, Wishes Fulfilled, Wayne Dyer said, and I absolutely love this, he said, the greatest gift you will ever be given is the gift of your imagination. With your magical inner realm is the capacity to have all of your wishes fulfilled. Here, in your imagination, lies the greatest power you will ever know. It is your domain for creating the life that you desire. And the best part of it is that you are the monarch, with all of the inherent powers to rule your world as you desire. Wow. Absolutely nothing can happen without your imagination, without this visualizing faculty. You know what? If you don't get anything else out of this webinar tonight, get this. It's time to let your imagination out to play. Give yourself permission to spend at least 10 minutes per day just daydreaming. Now then, what we're going to be talking about for the remainder of tonight is how to set up deliberate daydreams, deliberate vision. to begin building your goals and your dreams and actually achieve them. I don't know about you, but I'm sitting there going, yay! It's about time, right? So, Genevieve Barand is a wonderful author. She's a wonderful person. Now, many of you may not know who Genevieve Barand is, but I can tell you after this call, I know that you are going to love her as much as I do. Genevieve Barand was the one and only student of Thomas Troward. Now, Genevieve actually used what we're learning tonight to become Troward's one and only student. You know, he didn't take students, but he eventually took Genevieve Barand. And it was through her efforts and her persistence in applying what we're learning here tonight. Excuse me. And even though her book, Your Invisible Power, was written way back around 1921, the principles, the ideas, and, well, the power are absolutely timeless. You know, there are forces, there are laws, and these are not man-made laws, which are operating 100% of the time. And you know what, even if this is the first time that you've heard about universal laws, they have actually been impacting your life from the very beginning. Just to give you an example, the law of gravity is one of those universal laws. We can't see it, but we're sure thankful that it's there. Can you imagine all of us just floating out into outer space all the time? You know, another one of those universal laws is the law of cause and effect. You've heard reference to this law all throughout time in you know, some form or another. You've probably heard, what you sow, so shall you reap. Or, to make it simple, what you give out, you get back. You know, you can deliberately work with this law when you take control of your mind and begin to exercise your intellectual faculties, your mental muscles, for what you want. You know, as Genevieve Barand states in her book, if through the suggestions here given, anyone is brought to realize that their mind is a center through which all power there is in operation, please be given direction in the one and only way through which it can take specific action, then the mission to which this material is dedicated has been fulfilled. I love that. Now she goes on to say that the picture that you think, that you feel, and understand this, feeling, as we talked about before, is very important. So the picture that you think, feel, and see is reflected into the universal mind, and by the natural law of cause and effect, must return to you in either spiritual or physical form. Wow, so why visualize? You know what? Simple answer. Visualizing helps you deliberately work with the law of cause and effect. You see, visualization brings order. Now let me explain what I mean by visualization brings order by reading part of the first chapter in Genevieve's book, Your Invisible Power. She starts out by saying, the exercise of the visualizing faculty. Now remember, visualizing faculty is your imagination, right? So the exercise of the visualizing faculty keeps your mind in order and attracts to you the things you need to make life more enjoyable in an orderly way. If you train yourself in the practice of deliberately picturing your desire and carefully examining it, you will soon find your thought and desires come and proceed in more orderly procession than ever before. You know, what Genevieve is saying here is that we should deliberately exercise our imagination. we should deliberately form a clear picture of the goal or the dream that we desire or the person that we want to be. And not only that, she says that we need to examine it too. In other words, we need to use our mental faculty of perception and carefully look at it from all angles. Now she goes on to say, having reached a state of ordered mentality, you are no longer in a constant state of mental hurry. Hurry is fear and consequently destructive. In other words, when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, another one of those intellectual faculties, you all things requisite to the fulfillment of that by the harmonious law of attraction. Wow. You know what? What a special gift that Genevieve has just given us. She just told us how to work with another of the universal laws, the law of attraction. What she's saying is, when you understand the power that you have to build the picture of your greatest desire and focus on it, then it will be brought to you through the law of attraction. Now also understand this. She says it attracts all things requisite to the fulfillment of your desire. This is where you bring in another one of your mental factors, your intuition. In other words, you don't just sit there with your feet propped up on your desk waiting for things to happen. You must act on the inspired nudges that you get from your intuition. That's your part. You must act on those nudges. The universe is trying to give you what you want, but you don't just sit there. When you get an inspired idea to take some action and it may not make any sense to you at the time, take it. That's your part. Because the universe is trying to give you what you want, but you got to help out a little bit. So let me repeat that. Genevieve said, when your understanding grasps the power to visualize your heart's desire and hold it with your will, it attracts to you all things requisite to the fulfillment of that picture by the harmonious vibrations of the law of attraction. You realize that since order is heaven's first law and visualization places things in their natural element, then it must be a heavenly thing to visualize. Now, Genevieve goes on to say something very important. She says everyone visualizes whether they know it or not. Remember, we think in pictures. You know, remember all those times you use your memory to remember when things didn't go so well and you start playing that picture out? That's what she's saying here. Everyone visualizes whether they know it or not. She says that visualizing is the great secret of success. The conscious use of this great power attracts to you greatly multiplied resources, intensifies your wisdom, and gives you advantages which you formerly failed to recognize. She says conscious use. This means that you are deliberately visualizing. You are taking control. Excuse me. Now she finishes this chapter with this paragraph, and I love it. She says, in visualizing or making your mental picture, you are not endeavoring to change the laws of nature. You are fulfilling them. Your object in visualizing is to bring things into regular order, both mentally and physically. When you realize that this method of employing the creative power brings your desires, one after another, into practical material accomplishment, your confidence in the mysterious but unfailing law of attraction, which has its central power station in the very heart of your word picture, becomes supreme. Nothing can shake it. You never feel that it's necessary to take anything from anybody else. You have learned that asking and seeking have receiving and finding as their correlatives. You know that all you have to do is to start the plastic substance of the universe flowing into the thought mold your picture desire provides. Whew, wow. What amazing information. Now again, for those of you who are new to this material, something that Genevieve just said may have thrown you for a little bit of a loop. She said, you know that all you have to do is to start the plastic substance of the universe flowing into the thought. Now you might be thinking there, plastic substance? What's this plastic substance? I don't see any plastic substance, right? What is it? But you know what? As you dig into the science of, well, of everything, you discover that we're all energy. And you can say that we're all spirit if you want to. You know, I really love the phrase, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Because, you know, that's really what we are. But let's go back to the energy piece for a second. Absolutely vibrates. Nothing rests. Everything is energy. You know, as I pointed out in the very first week, if you were to take your hand and look at it under a high-powered microscope, you'd see that it's not a solid object at all. But instead it's just a whole bunch of molecules moving back and forth at a very high rate of speed. You know, the same thing is true for the chair that you're sitting in, the phone, if you're using a phone, or the computer or desk. You know, absolutely everything is vibrating. So this plastic substance that Genevieve refers to is energy. It's universal energy, God energy, spirit energy. Again, whatever you want to call it. I'll call it energy. You know, I just recently took a group of coaching clients through a study of the masterpiece, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Now, Wattles called this plastic substance of the universe. Say that fast 10 times. Wow. Plastic substance of the universe. Wattles called it thinking stuff. Wattles said, you know, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and which, in its original state, permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in this substance produces the thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought and, by impressing his thought upon formless substance, can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. Folks, Wattles and Barand are talking about the same thing. Isn't that so cool? I just love that. So, I think that it's totally exciting that we now know that we can deliberately visualize to reach our goals and achieve our dreams. You know, whatever they may be. You know, a profitable business, or a home in the mountains, or traveling the world and being able to keep our families close by. You know, whatever those dreams may be. We also now know that there's universal laws, and these laws are working 100% of the time. And that by being aware of these laws and their function, that we can take control of our circumstances and our outcomes. You know, we can send those paradigms, those limiting beliefs packing, and we can replace them with beliefs and paradigms that actually serve us on our journey. So, how do we visualize in order to clearly communicate our desires to this universal mind? and kick out those paradigms so that we may achieve and live our greatest dreams. You know, there's actually many different ways to go about visualization. I mean, if I were to ask 10 people who regularly visualize and accomplish their goals, I'm going to get probably 10 different answers. However, what I'll discover is that there are some commonalities between all of them. And you know what? That's what we're going to tackle next. So, let's go back. Excuse me, and let's take a look at our little stick person again. You know, I did say that repetition was one of the first laws of learning, right? So you're going to come to love this stick person just as much as I do. I just love him. So if you recall, the larger circle in our stick person represents our mind, and then the smaller one represents our body. And of course, we have this horizontal line across the center of our larger circle, dividing it in half. And then the top half of this circle is our conscious mind, and then the bottom half is our subconscious mind. And of course, these two halves work very differently from each other. You see, our conscious mind is our thinking mind, and then our subconscious mind is our emotional mind. Now, it's also in our thinking mind that we choose our thoughts, and that this is also where those intellectual faculties live, right? We can also form our ideas in our conscious mind, and we can decide what thoughts we want to keep and which ones that we don't want to keep. Now, I want to stress here that this is where we either have control or we don't have control, but either way, it's our choice. We do have the ability to choose our thoughts and we choose our ideas, but unfortunately, the majority of people out there don't exercise that ability. So if you'll remember in Lesson 1, when we choose our thoughts, we get emotionally involved with those thoughts, and those thoughts cause our feelings. And those feelings that we have are expressed through the only avenue that they can be expressed through, which is our body, which is an instrument of our mind, right? And so we take actions based on this expression of these feelings. And now these feelings could be caused by our paradigm as well. We talked about that last time. But either way, these actions produce our results. So, what do we do? What do we need to do to kick that paradigm out of there and to start taking control of those thoughts and taking control of those feelings so that the circumstances, the situations, the wealth, the successful business is under our control and we make it what we want it to be? Well, step 1, write it down. Write down what you want to do, what you want to be, and what you want to have. Write it down. You know, this is an extremely important step. Unfortunately, most people decide to skip, and then they sit down and they wonder why it's not working. By writing down your goals and your dreams, you're setting the intention. You're getting very specific. Now, this is why in the Discovery series it has a wonderful journaling component, because with this journal, you're required to write it down. You know what? If I were coaching you and you came back to me in 30 days and you said, you know what, Linda, this stuff doesn't work. It's just a bunch of junk. It just doesn't work. One of the very first things that I'm going to ask you is, well, did you write down what you want? And if the answer is no, guess what? I'm going to send you right back to write it down. Now then, if you don't know what you want and you're stuck, you know what? Try something simple at first. figuring out what you truly want, what your passion is, truly is a topic for a discussion for another time. You know, there's a great segment in the Discovery series by Janet Atwood about her passion test. I love that. It's awesome. So if you haven't listened to it in a while, or maybe you're just getting to that part, this is one to really pay attention to because it helps you figure out what your passion is and what you truly want. But again, for today, if you don't exactly know what your grand dream is, that's okay. Let's start with something simple. Okay, so step 2. Carve out some you time. Find a place where you won't be disturbed. If you're at your office, close the door and let everybody know that you do not wish to be disturbed. You know, I think in most phone systems you can put there's a do not disturb button or a code that you can put in to make sure that even calls don't ring through. And you know what? If you're at home, you can also tell the people around you that you don't want to be disturbed. Key is here, turn off your phones, your email, any computer, anything that would be a distraction to you. Turn it off. Now, some people like to play soft music, and some people like it nice and quiet. It really doesn't matter here. The choice is yours. If you do play music, I would pick instrumental music only, because if there's words, you may tend to grab onto those words and then just start singing in your mind, which is going to distract your focus. That is, unless, of course, that you're visualizing yourself as a great singer on stage, and then I guess sing away. Next, all important, step 3, relax. Now, I'm going to take you through an exercise here in just a minute that should help you with this particular step. And step 4, you're going to start building the picture of what it is you desire. Now, this is where you start building your movie or your mind movie. And in this movie, you're the star. You're the director. You're the producer. I mean, do you get the picture? You're not the schmuck sitting on the back row. You are the star of the movie. And being the star, you're going to feel what it feels like to already be doing what it is you want to do, to already have what you want to have, to already be the person that you want to become. So let me explain. Let's go back to our stick person again. Now then, there is a creative power that flows to and through you. Remember we talked about energy? This is what we're talking about here, this energy that permeates, penetrates, and fills all the inner spaces of the universe. This energy is flowing to and through you. And as it begins to flow to and through you, it just is. It's neither positive nor negative. It just is. And the cool thing is, as you think an idea, as you think of this idea of what you want, and you start to internalize this, you get emotionally involved with this idea, you're actually projecting this idea picture onto the screen of your mind. And you're getting emotionally involved with it, and this is how you're turning this picture over to the universal mind. Isn't that awesome? So, you can think about anything and start thinking about anything. You can say, you know, I want something tangible like a BMW 650i convertible in Moroccan blue, of course. Or maybe you're thinking about some place that you want to go that you've not gone before. You can think about that. Or maybe you want to be this successful entrepreneur, and you have this picture of where this entrepreneur would be living, or what this entrepreneur would be looking like and wearing and acting like, and all of the charitable things that this entrepreneur is going to be doing. So get a picture. And what I'd like to do now, and I told you I would take you through an exercise. So what I would like for you to do is just take a moment, and I would like for you to think about what it is you truly want. And again, as I said before, if you don't know exactly what your grand goal is, that's fine. Let's start with something simple for this exercise, but start to get a picture in your mind of what it is that you want. Now then, what I'm about to do is take you through a visualization exercise so that you can experience what this is going to be like. So, if you're driving a car, please don't do this right now with us. Just listen, and then when you're someplace that you can practice this, I highly suggest that you do so. Now, I'm going to pause just for a moment so that you can think about and start forming this picture. Think about what you don't currently have in physical form that you want. And again, it can be something tangible, or it can be the person that you want to be. I'm going to be quiet for just a second, and I want you to think, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, now for those of you not driving a car, I guess please turn off your Skype, get back out of your Facebook, and let's pull our entire focus to right here now. Because I would like for you to, and now I'd like for you to take a deep breath in and hold it. Now exhale. Now take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly close your eyes. That's it. Now take another deep breath, and as you exhale, it's as if your eyelids just melt into your cheeks. Now, as you continue to breathe deeply, picture this energy, this sparkly, misty, pure, creative, relaxing, healing energy flowing into the crown of your head from the universe. It enters the top of your head, and it slowly flows down your face, relaxing all of your muscles as it goes. You can feel it down your cheeks, down your jaws. It flows down your neck into your shoulders. Take another deep breath and feel this beautiful, sparkly, relaxing, creative energy flow down your shoulders, into your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands and fingers. Your fingers feel tingly because they're so relaxed. Now feel this wonderful, creative energy flowing down your back to the base of your spine. Then it flows down your torso, into your heart space, down your abdomen, into your hips, down your thighs, your knees, your lower legs, your ankles, your feet, and your toes. Now feel this sparkly, warm, creative, relaxing, healing energy circulating throughout your body. Now take another deep breath and relax even deeper. That's it. With your eyes still closed, begin to see this energy forming a large movie screen behind your eyelids. As you see the screen, you start to think about your picture. Maybe it's your dream home. If so, what color is it? How many floors does it have? Where is it located? What's the view? If it has steps, watch yourself walking carefully down the stairs. Go past a mirror and see how wonderful and vibrant you look. If it's a dream vacation, where are you? Who's with you? How did you get there? Whatever it is, just build a picture. Enroll the movie. Remember, you're the star. How does it feel to have accomplished this great goal? If it's financial freedom, what does that feel like? Who's around you? Are you hugging your loved ones? Are you eating a magnificent meal? What does that taste like? Are you walking on the beach? Can you feel the sand on the bottom of your feet? How grateful are you for having all these wonderful people in your life? How grateful are you for the abundance that you see all around you? You know, gratitude brings all your desires to you faster because you are just so grateful. Now take another deep breath, and as I count to 5, you're going to come back to where you are right now, feeling very positive and highly energized. 1. You're starting to come back from your picture. 2. You're beginning to stretch your arms. 3. You're becoming more aware of what's going on around you. 4. Take another deep breath. As your eyes are becoming lighter and lighter. And 5, you're fully awake, you're refreshed, you're energized, and ready to take your next inspired steps toward your goal. Woo! Well done. You know, that's what it's like to take some time to be totally focused on your dreams and your goals. This is what it's like to deliberately visualize in order to give your command to the universe. Now then, besides not knowing what you want, and besides not writing down what you want, there is something else that tends to prevent people from reaching their dreams through visualization. And I have to tell you that something is inconsistency. People will start, and then they'll stop, and then they'll start, and then they'll stop. Or they'll say, I want this, no, I changed my mind, I want that, no, I changed my mind, I want this. So, I have a challenge for you. And this challenge kind of goes along with your exercises. But I want to tell you this is not posted on my website yet. I contacted my website host. They're having a little bit of difficulty, and so actually none of my exercises today I've been able to reach, but they said that they're working on the issue and they'll fix it as soon as possible. For anybody who wants a jump start on the exercises, and I will explain them here in just a second, you can email me, and I will email you the 2 files that I'm going to post for your exercises for this week. You can email me to linda.yourdreamachiever@gmail.com, and I'll send you those exercises. One thing I'm going to do is for all of you, I'm sending you if you email me, and when Weebly has the issue fixed, I'll be posting it on my website, the PDF version of Genevieve Moran's Your Invisible Power. And everybody should have it in their library, and I'm providing it to you. The other thing is this 30-day challenge. So in this 30-day challenge, and this is your assignment or your worksheet, whatever you want to call it. Number one, so if you're taking notes, you might want to jot this down real quick. Write down where you are in your life right now. And you can write down as far as your finances are concerned, your career, your business, your relationships. What we're looking for, what you're looking for is a benchmark. You know, this is where you are today. So be totally honest, totally truthful. What does your life look like right here, right now? Now, step number 2 is to write down a goal that you want to achieve in the next 30 days. That's a 30-day challenge, right? Pick something that's believable to you right now, but it's a stretch for you. I mean, if you already know how to achieve this goal, then it's not a goal at all. It's just an item on your to-do list to be checked off. Stretch yourself. Let me give you an example. Maybe you can write down, in 30 days, I will have an additional $30,000 or more in my bank account from unexpected sources. Now then, I put or more on there because, you know, why should we cap what we might possibly earn, right? And I also put unexpected sources in there because, excuse me, again, it's not our job to dictate the how part. It's our job to decide what we want and then take an inspired action when we are nudged to do so. So that's why I put unexpected sources. You know, maybe you say you have 2 more discovery sales per week for the next 4 weeks or more. Put that or more on there. Again, you don't want to limit the universe, because if you ask for a penny is all you'll get. If you ask for $100 is all you're going to get. So put the or more, or at least, or something. So write down what you want in the next 30 days. Now the number 3, spend 20 minutes each day. And you know what? You can set a timer so that you don't worry about how long or how short it's been. Set the timer. That way, that's one less thing to think about. But spend 20 minutes each day visualizing your goal has already been achieved. The people that you're going to interact with, the smells, the tastes, the sounds, everything. Act as if it's already been accomplished. And be sure to feel the gratitude you feel for this goal already being accomplished. And then number 4, 30 days from today, or tomorrow, wherever you are in the hemisphere, I expect everyone on this call to send me an email. And again, that's linda.yourdreamachiever@gmail.com. I expect an email from each person on this call, and I would like for you to share with me your results. Now, actually, I'm throwing this in here, a little free coaching. If you want, you can send me what you wrote down as your benchmark, and I'll hang on to it for you for these 30 days. And then in 30 days, when you send me your results, then you and I'll get together and we'll compare notes. We'll see where you were today or tonight, and then what you have achieved in this 30 days. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty exciting to me, and I'm taking the challenge right along with you. So I think that this will all be fun, and I'm really anxious to start receiving those emails. So with that, and I will, as soon as the website host gets their little issue fixed, I will have this particular exercise posted on lindalayman.com. But until then, if you want to jumpstart, please email me, and I will send these 2 items to you so that you can get started right away. So let's open it up For anybody who has any questions or comments, please raise your hand, and I will be more than happy to bring you out. I see something. Let me see what that is. Okay, I had some additional hellos at the beginning from Roxanne, Mary, and Joyce. So thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. So let's go back and let's just see. Whoops. Who has questions? Peter, I've got your line open. Can you hear me?
Oh, there I am.
Oh, there you are.
Can you?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I unmuted myself. Thank you so much, Linda. You know, I'm delighted that there are so many other people listening in this evening, and I feel bad that I haven't been able to attend the first two. I did attend one that you did privately one night, and the message that you have is exactly what I need to hear right now. The steps that you've given, the nuts and bolts. I have not seen myself, no pun intended, as being someone who can visualize, and I've worked on it and gotten better, and I really appreciate the steps that you've given and the challenge that you've given to be able to manifest through deliberate actions on my part to be able to get the things that I want. You know, what I wrote on Facebook today, answered, and lots of other people did too, was not something that I did knowing that this was coming this evening, but obviously I was on the right steps, and I really appreciate that. And what a wonderful session that you ran tonight. I'm glad to be able to enjoy it and to take part with the other people that are here as well. So thank you so much.
Oh gosh, Peter, it's my pleasure, and thank you. I mean, your spirit, your love, your joy just shines through every time that we're able to interact. So I really appreciate you as well. And we have recorded the other sessions. Just email me if you want copies of those recordings. I'm sure that they're posted somewhere, but I know that I can get to them pretty easily. So just let me know.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who else wants to jump out here? Anybody else have any questions or comments? I am not seeing any more hands up. Could be that everybody else is still visualizing. Fun. All right, guys. Well, listen, again, email me if you want to get a jump start on Genevieve Moran's Your Invisible Power and the worksheet for tonight, which has these 4 steps spelled out again on them, and I'll be happy to send it to you. And I do expect to hear from everybody as far as the wonderful successes that you have achieved over this next 30 days. So thank you all so much for attending this evening. It's really been my pleasure. You know, next week we're going to tie it all up in a beautiful little bow, and we are going to actually see what that horrible terror barrier looks like and how to break through it to freedom. So I'm anxious and excited to bring you next week as well. I'm kind of sorry to see these coming to an end, but I'm sure that we'll all continue to stay in touch. So until next time, have a great evening, a great day, great morning. We'll catch you next week. Thanks a lot, guys.